All right, you guys, welcome back. Here in front of me is the 2023 Ford Escape ST line. As you can see, they have completely redesigned the Ford Escape for this model year. And of course, that's due in part to the fact that the Ford Bronco Sport has been outselling the Escape, and Escape sales have been dwindling. So what is Ford's plan? Well, of course, they've brought over the ST badge to the Escape. Hold up.
Marcus?
What are you doing there, man? Well, it's Atlas Blue Metallic. Is that what you're asking?
Well, it's the same color as mine, but what is this logo right here?
Oh, the ST line? You tell me, man.
A hybrid? That's like... Are you kidding me? You see that it's right here in the front. That's an ST badge.
Kurt, the only changes, the ST badge is just bigger on this. That's the only difference, I promise. Do you want to go for a drive still?
I think we need to.
Do we need to go for a drive?
Let's go. I'm going to shut this thing off.
Yeah, I know. It's already wasted 20 liters since you got here.
Come on, if I want to
All right, you guys, so I think the question that Kurt really wants to know is, what is the Ford Escape ST? Because it's not actually an ST, it is, if you look closely, the ST line. And this even confused me because the Ford Escape ST line is available with 3 different engines. The Explorer ST is an Explorer ST, that's what you get. It's got the 3-liter EcoBoost, it's got stiffer spring rates, and it's got bigger anti-roll bars, stuff to make it handle better. So let's talk to Kurt and see what he thinks about the ST line and see what they've actually done here.
You know what? The world of EVs is just getting too complicated. Like, let's just go back to the time where you go to the gas station. You want to talk about efficiency, then you can have an ST on ethanol running renewable resources.
Yes.
Of course, this is a renewable resource in BC, but when you get to somewhere like California, they take all of our power. Thank you, Californians. So, like, I'm just not sold yet, man. Like, I saw some of the stuff, the hybrid F-150 looked cool, the Explorer hybrid was kind of a neat idea. I'm okay with that. That's like, you're trying out different things, you have to meet emissions, I totally get it.
Yeah.
But I don't understand the ST badge line, so I guess we need to like get inside this thing and start seeing what the differences are.
We'll get back to Kurt and his Explorer ST here in a second. But let's just talk about what the ST line is. 2023 Ford Escape ST, completely redesigned for this year. It looks so much better than it did the previous generation. The previous generation, well, not previous gen, but the pre-refresh looked too happy. It was too happy-go-lucky. It kind of looked like a fish, to be honest. So they've completely redesigned the front end, the rear end. The vehicle underneath is largely the same, and we'll get into it. But the main thing here is it's the ST, it's the Escape ST, is it not? Is it not a enthusiast-minded, quicker, more buckled down Escape? Well, no. The ST badge, as you can see here, a lot smaller than it was on the Fiesta ST, the Focus ST, or of course the Explorer ST. It's the ST line. So BMW and Mercedes, of course, have been doing this for years. I could call it diluting the brand, and that's essentially what it kind of is. They've relegated the ST badge now to lower tier vehicles, while the Explorer ST and the Fiesta and all those other ones, like the Fiesta had Recaro seats, it had stiffer springs, it had bigger anti-roll bars. This has none of that. Suspension is identical to the standard Escape. It is an aesthetics package. So what do you get? You get the black grille here, exclusive black grille. You get the optional coast to coast, as Ford calls it, LED light strip here, which works very well with the LED running lights here. And this ST line Elite has the LED fogs down there as well. A little bit of a trend. The LED strip on the headlights here, of course, a little bit of black there. Walking around here, we get these exclusive 19-inch ebony black aluminum wheels. There's a couple of wheel options but the Elite gets those 19s, and then we come around back here and we get an exclusive rear diffuser. This one also has the towing pack, dual exhaust, which I love. I think it looks great. It looks basic, but it's got the LED aggressive kind of look on those taillights we can see right now. It's not my favorite compact SUV, but it looks good. And of course, since the Escape came out back in the early 2000s, it was a boxy kind of off-road daily SUV, and that position has just been taken up by the Bronco Sport. So this allows the Escape to become a more streamlined, sleek, more rounded, softer vehicle, which they've done here. It has a slightly different suspension than the Bronco Sport. The wheelbase is a little bit longer here, and it's just a little bit more softer and more compliant. Let's go for a drive. We're just gonna go for a quick drive here, give you some impressions. This is the last thing that the Escape ST comes with. Flat bottom steering wheel. Then of course we have the optional 12.3-inch gauge cluster display there, and the optional, again, 13.2-inch center display here. Ford has about 4 different screens across their lineup that you can spec. It's very interesting to note. I like this. I don't like the whole iPad stuck on the dash look. Overall, inside here, quickly before we go for a drive, materials are great. Everything you touch most of the time is good. The steering wheel is very soft to the touch. I love how the steering wheel feels, even though it isn't real leather. The seats here are optional leather trimmed. So I believe this perforated section here is actually leather. I'm not sure about this center bit here. I don't believe this is right here, but leather trimmed seats. I could not care less about this fake carbon fiber. That's a no-go for me, but of course, you guys, it's the ST. So you need to have that. And little things like the center stack near the start button will shift and kind of move if you start poking around. As tested here, $55,000. Starting price for the ST line. Elite is $47,000 Canadian. The Escape ST comes with 3 engine options, which is the first dead giveaway that it's not a performance compact SUV. If it was, it would exclusively come with the 2-liter EcoBoost, 250 horsepower, 280 pound-feet of torque. And that would be that, maybe some suspension changes. But here, what I'm driving is a 2.5-liter naturally aspirated inline-4 paired with 2 electric motors for a fully contained parallel hybrid system. And an eCVT. The 2-liter EcoBoost, biggest change, that gets an 8-speed. So you'll actually be able to feel the gear shifts. I'd imagine you probably get paddles on the top end of that. And it's a little bit more catered to the performance driving, whereas this, very efficient. This one has been spec'd with all-wheel drive. You are able to spec this hybrid with front-wheel drive as well. There's a plug-in hybrid available, but this is just my personal opinion. I love a fully self-contained hybrid system, something I don't have to plug in, something I don't have to think about, especially around the city. You know, if I'm going on longer drives, yeah, plug-in is great, but here you just don't have to think about it, and we still get an average of 6 liters per 100 kilometers, or about 40 miles per gallon, which has been exactly what I've been getting here. The real question is there a problem with putting the ST badge on a vehicle like this that doesn't actually perform any better than the standard model? Yeah, and maybe to the average consumer it wouldn't cause much confusion, but to anyone who's been around a quick Ford, who that badge resonates with, who I'm assuming that's who you're kind of going after, they already know about the Fiesta ST, they already know about the Explorer ST and those peppy EcoBoost engines and the suspension changes that come with it. So to say it's the ST line, kind of, it gives me a Louis Vuitton or a Supreme kind of, that's the mentality I get from it. Oh, you stuck a name on a thing and you put like a pattern on a bag, but in this case, the pattern on the bag is just a black grille, some wheels, and a wing that does nothing. And that's not to say it doesn't look good. I think the package itself minus the ST line badge, it's a good package. It's not too much more. And of course you could spec this as well, like I mentioned, with that 2-liter EcoBoost engine. You can have more power and torque if you want, or you can go with efficiency like you get here. On the other hand, if I was gonna kind of play devil's advocate here, what does Ford have? Ford produces 0 cars other than the Mustang here in North America now. So what do they have? They're not gonna make a hot hatch here in North America ever again. I don't see it happening. And this is the closest they have to that. So now this does ride a lot better than the Bronco Sport. Of course, the all-wheel drive system here is front-wheel drive until it needs to send torque to the rear. And it's smooth. The hybrid system here is a parallel hybrid system, so that means whenever the gasoline engine is on and is running, it is directly powering the front wheels, versus in some vehicles like I drove the CR-V hybrid, that's a series parallel, so in some cases that'll directly power the front wheels. In other cases, the gasoline engine will simply act as a generator and send power through an inverter, which then sends power through the electric motor to the front wheels. So there's a little difference in throttle response there. This is a 2-speed CVT. You have a few drive modes here. They reset every time you start the vehicle. I don't know if that's a big deal for you. It's not for me, but just a note here. Throttle response changes up a little bit, and in sport, it will not coast or drive at all in EV mode. So that's the biggest change between the drive modes, and then we have a slippery mode. I mean, pushing the Bronco Sport was a bit frightening, to be honest. It felt like the car was a kind of felt like the car might actually want to just roll on me. So that wasn't the greatest feeling. Here, that's largely dialed out. It definitely feels a little bit smoother, both in just ride quality and overall handling. The fuel economy is great. I love the gauge cluster here. Absolutely love this EV coach. I don't know why it's called EV coach, but it basically just displays, as you guys can see, whether I'm in hybrid, whether I'm charging, or whether I'm powering the vehicle exclusively using electricity. And it's very seamless. It's quiet. I don't notice when the gasoline engine kind of kicks on and begins to send torque. It's just a good system. Now, it does get a little bit better fuel economy than the CR-V hybrid I drove. It also has less cargo space than that. That is a larger vehicle. The interior in that CR-V hybrid as well, just as a comparison, a little bit better, a little bit more put together, more leather, absolutely. This infotainment though, much better than Honda's, not by like a huge amount, but definitely noticeable and kind of smoother here, and a little bit more integration. There's more options on the screens and how you can position your different apps. Real quick, of course, this is kind of like, it is an Escape review, but at the same time, we did a video, Kurt and I, not too long ago, a few months ago, on the Explorer ST. It completely blew up. Thanks guys for watching.
Thank you, really.
A lot of people did not wait until they were far enough into the video. Durango Hellcat, Durango Hellcat. A lot of people didn't understand that. Big difference in weight, of course. But do you want to go for a quick drive and just kind of show me quickly what you've done since that video?
We do have some revisions. We have a different tune that's new to come out. Last time we were out, that guy's enjoying life, let me tell you. Last time we were out, we just got the E50 tune. E50 tune with the bigger injectors. I had some challenges, so I had to take the injectors out, send them back to Extreme Performance DI, and they went through them. They actually found that 2 injectors were not performing properly, so they fixed that. Still on stock injectors. Now I'm back on E50, but this time I have a drive mode specific. So each mode has a tune, and I have trans brake, which is completely different than last time. So for you boys and gals that are looking to destroy your transmission in a heartbeat, that's the tune for you. But if you don't want to destroy your transmission, I would just stick with a launch control. The fact is, these things are crazy, and I just did some dyno testing on it, so we're at 513 horsepower, 530 foot-pounds of torque on ethanol. So literally, you could go to Ford, buy this, maybe throw downpipes on or leave it stock, and you could throw an ethanol tune on it, and that's what you would have right out of the door. I mean, that is incredible for these things. I do have a larger intercooler. I would recommend that at some point, but literally you could just drive out of the dealership, no mods, put the tune on, go to the track, and people would be like, that thing's so quiet, but it's like so fast.
Yeah. Oh my God. I forget how quick this trans shifts. It's incredible, man.
Yes, sir.
With this amount of weight, I mean, it definitely, the load helps spool the turbos, and it's so responsive. And I mean, just immediately, it feels of course heavier than the Escape.
Of course, it's 4,700 pounds. I looked at this when we were looking for our Ford Explorer, and you looked at
interrupt for torque.
You have to. You have to soak it in. I never like to speak when you're enjoying corners. It's about the sound, like this.
Yeah. To me, the lineup, especially with the Escape, is a little bit more confusing now. And I drove the Expedition. That lineup is very clear.
Yes.
You go luxury trim,
yes.
You go base trim,
yes.
Or you go off-road trim.
Yes.
Those are the trim levels,
yes.
And they make sense.
Yeah.
The ride height is taller
yep.
on the off-road. The luxury has more interior stuff. That to me is simple.
Yeah. And like, I don't know if the Explorer lineup ever adopted the silly ST line mentality. I mean, they sort of follow the same branding with the Expedition that they did with the Explorer. You have the base model, you have the Timberline, you have the Sport, and you have the Platinum.
Yeah.
And like, that's what we were looking at. We had a 300 horsepower car. We were looking for something different. It was like all the 2.4 liter, I think, is what's in the XLT or XL Explorer. It's 300 horse. When I took it on the freeway, I was like, this doesn't feel like 300 horse. And then we're looking at the Platinum, and I was like, the Platinum, it was more money than the ST, but the ST had more power. I was like,
yes.
Or why wouldn't I buy an ST over a Platinum?
Yeah, well, that's who you are.
Of course.
That's who you are, right? And that's kind of what I like about it, though. You can pick and choose what catered experience you want out of it. Whereas the ST line, on the surface, it's just a cosmetic line.
Yes.
That's all it is, aside from the flat bottom steering wheel that they add, which they, by the way, say it's track inspired. So if you want your Escape to be track inspired. That's incredible, man.
So like last time we did this testing, I think we had a 0-60 of like 4.6 seconds.
It was quicker than that.
Was it?
It was quick. It was low fours.
Oh, low fours?
Yeah.
And I don't think we actually ever did a quarter mile test. But like, I'll be honest, I didn't expect it to actually jump into the 500 on stock injectors. So I'm really curious to see what it does on 25% bigger injectors.
So let's talk about Durango Hellcat.
Oh yeah.
What is the quarter mile time that you are going after, and what's been your quickest so far?
Yeah, so when you saw me at the drag strip, I was on 93. It was a 3.920 to 60.
Wow.
A 769 eighth mile, and a 12.13 quarter mile. And it's funny because after your video, another company did a video at the track where they caught me beating the Hellcat. And so I technically did beat the Hellcat, but
not off the OEM numbers that are the kind of baseline. And that's what, of course, the internet's gonna go off
of course. So like our goal right now is 11.7. Yeah. And then when I go back to the injectors, then it's going to be 11.5, and then we'll go to turbos and we'll be into the 10s.
That's easy at that point. Yeah. What, you guys, stock turbos.
Oh yeah, all stock turbos.
That's the insane part, right? If once you go to bigger turbos, the bragging point of beating a Durango Hellcat is like, yeah, you're gonna do that.
Of course.
Down a quarter mile. which is exciting. I love what you're doing too. If you guys haven't subscribed to Kurt's channel, Southdown Garage, definitely go subscribe and check it out.
It's really fun. Like, honestly, I appreciate the comments, even if they're not positive for me, because you make me work harder. Like, I have a comment where somebody said I can't beat a Hellcat on the mods I've done so far. Well, technically, they kind of are correct, because I've gone back to stock injectors, and I'm potentially going to beat a Hellcat on stock injectors.
Yeah.
So we just have to get there. It's not about, like, just beating a Hellcat. It's about, you know, being a community. And, like, regardless if I'm Ford or he's Dodge, we can beat each other together. At the end of the day, shake hands, it's all good. Yeah. And if one of us has a problem, we can just help each other out. Yeah. But when we're on the track, it's serious and we're not friends.
For those 10 seconds or less.
We're not friends.
We're not friends. Yeah, exactly.
Friends off.
Yeah.
We're gonna go full paddles in, back in, down pedal off, foot brake off.
You weren't kidding, man. That's completely different.
Yeah.
So you let off the brake and it does its own thing, basically.
So we're gonna do the launch control now.
Wow. Super violent, man.
Oh yeah.
Incredibly violent. That's gotta save you like at least 100th.
Oh, second gear launch, damn it.
Yeah, it was not as violent that time. The first one was a big kick.
0 to 60 of 3.83 seconds.
3.83. All right.
We're getting faster.
That's pretty quick, man. That's I mean, it's almost half a second quicker than what we ran last time we did the video. Yeah. Which is huge.
Oh, and that's with AC on too.
AC, and massage seats.
And massaging seat. Right.
Obviously, that doesn't affect the engine,
but the AC will.
Yeah.
Slightly.
Sweet, man. Overall, Escape ST. What I expected from the Escape ST? No, absolutely not. But thanks guys for watching. That was, the Escape ST. Go subscribe again to Kurt's channel if you haven't already. If you want to follow his Explorer ST build, and subscribe, of course, here. If you haven't already, lots of cool videos coming up. This weekend, I'm driving a insane Ferrari F12, and then we got some other exciting stuff. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. See you soon.